My name is Justice. I'm an amateur chef. I don't know anything about cooking, but today I'm going to teach you how to do a holiday appetizer. Alright, so for the ingredients, we have 5. The first one here is some cut up brie. I cut it up into 24 chunks. And then the second one here is thyme. You only need a couple of sprigs. And then this third ingredient is diced up pear. Make sure the pear is ripe. And then the fourth, we got honey for some drizzling. And for the fifth, we got a pack of mini tarts. You'll need this to hold everything together. Instead of the tarts, you can also use phyllo pastry if you want. And I just love a good knife. Love how sharp this is. Anyways, yeah, I'll stop talking about knives. It's gonna dice the pears. Alright, so I'm cutting the brie right now. And there's really no fancy way of cutting brie. You gotta cut it into chunks, right? It's not fancy like the way I dice these pears, but we want 24 pieces. So I took one thing of brie, I cut it in half, and so therefore I had 2 round pieces coming out like this. And then I grabbed those 2 round pieces and I cut those in half. So I had 4 half pieces. And from those half pieces, I cut it twice to get 6 pieces. So you have 24 pieces of brie from that thing of cheese on its own. There you go. All right, so now is the time for the assemblement. Basically, you grab these frozen tart shells, and you just, right now I'm using a muffin tray. I find that they're kind of a great way to just hold it all together. The thing about this appetizer is that it's super easy to do, right? I mean, you only have the 4 ingredients, right? And you know what? This would actually, oops, try this again. Don't put in the pear first. Don't be like me. You want to put the brie in first per shell. So 1 brie. I don't know if you can, hold on. Let me just throw this all in. Then I'll show you. Just like that. All right. But as I was saying, it's super easy to assemble. I find that who would actually really benefit from making such an appetizer would be like bachelors. Because you go to your family dinner and you bring this really kind of bougie kind of appetizer, and they're like, "Oh my God, Steven, like what made you think, what compelled you to make such a lovely appetizer?" And instead of it, it being easy, you can tell them, well, because you deserve good food in your life. At least that's what I'm going to tell my family and friends. All right, so next I'm putting in the pear. Here, actually, I'll put it in this one right here. So you want to put the pear on top of the brie. And just put like a little dash, if you want to be like Salt Bae. And no, don't be like Salt Bae. Yikes. That's going to create a mess. Check this out. So, you got brie and you got some pear on top of it. I'm going to finish that over here. Yeah, I really like the idea of pear and brie together. Usually a lot of people put apple and pear together. And maybe you could actually put apple instead of pear with this recipe. If you want to go with something a little bit more with tarts, a green apple would be great to chop up. The pear is a little bit more subtle than, and less tarty than a green apple. So it just depends on the sweetness and how much sweetness you want. But I find that pear is traditionally a really great holiday flavor. All right. Can we stop filming? I'm just going to wash my hands in because I got like a bunch of pear on me. All right, next we want to get the honey. What you want to do is you just want to put a drop on top of the brie and the pear. Find that this will kind of just bring it together. Just add I think it works out to be about a teaspoon per shell. There you go. And that's the honey. And I did that one for this one as well. Let's throw that back in there. And then next, we're going to take the thyme. The thing about the thyme is that you only need a couple of leaves. So, yikes, this is honey all over me. And, yeah, as I was talking about like the pear and the brie being kind of like subtle flavors, or I mean, at least with the pear, I find thyme is kind of like a really great way to contribute to those subtle flavors. I really like thyme because it's like super versatile. I actually made like a lemonade with thyme. It was called thyme lemonade. So you can just tell right there that thyme is some really good stuff. Ugh. You know what would be really awesome is if you were growing thyme in your garden, or if you had like a kind of a little spice box going on inside your house, inside your kitchen, growing some spices. I think this is a very wholesome way to add to your holiday cooking. I think, yeah, you don't need too much thyme, but I like to put a little bit more to be more decorative, to add more to the flavor, and there you go. And that's how it should look like. All right, so it's time to cook, or I guess bake in this instance. So what you want to do is you want to turn your oven on, preheat it to 400 degrees, and then you want to put each tray in. So that's tray number 1. And tray number 2. You want to keep it in the oven for about 15 minutes or until the shells are golden and the brie is melted. And it just looks really delicious in general. There you go. All right, so our pastries are out of the oven, like I said. Bake them for 15 minutes, and then you want to let them set for about 5 to 10 minutes because the honey is still kind of bubbling. You want to let it set. So we're gonna do my favorite part now, which is trying out a pastry. Let's see, which one am I feeling today? We'll go with this one here. I'm actually really excited for this, so let's do this. Mmm, this is really good. It was actually really good. Sorry, I'm talking with my mouth full. All right, well, that's the end of our video. I really enjoyed baking for you guys. I hope you were able to enjoy me as well and, decide to, venture and try out this recipe. Until next time, I am the amateur chef. I pretend I know stuff, but you know what? I have a good time doing it.